In this episode of Chateau Capers, I go poking around an old toilet pipe, lining the pool nearly kills us, and Jane gets a new toy. So of all the things I thought we'd find here in the south of France, a praying mantis was not one of them. I had no idea they were around here. Looks like it's been injured. One of its arms is damaged, I think. Look at it. It's about 2 inches long. Now we've got to get it outside. Before we could move on to fitting the liner, I needed to seal the pool using the silicone sealant provided with the kit. We were given 2 tubes. The job would have been easy with 3 tubes, and it was a special type of sealant not easily sourced. But I made do, just. The next day saw the end of the heat wave. Hooray! There was a glorious cloudy sky, and the daytime temperature had dropped by 10 degrees Celsius. Perfect for working outdoors. By hook or by crook, today we want to put the liner in, and we won't know how hard that is until we do it. We've got a felt roll to put down first, and then after that there's a spongy layer to go on top, and then the liner on. So each layer has to be glued down, and then the liner goes in, and that's the bit which I think can be the hard part. So we won't know how hard it is until we start. We know what we've got to do. We've just got to try and do it and hope that it all goes smoothly. Well, we'll see.
The felt roll needed to be laid out so we could cut it to fit. It was 2 meters wide, and so 2 rows should fit exactly. It was tricky to begin with, as the only scissors we could find were blunt. Once we found the good scissors, it was a lot easier. The felt had to cover the floor and the steps. Cutting it to fit the steps was a little tricky, as they are 45 degrees to the pool. Once everything was cut to size, it all had to be glued down using a large pot of glue paste supplied. I made sure there were no wrinkles in case they'd show up through the liner. Our pool was then carpeted, but we'd also bought a roll of foam, which will give the pool a cushioned feeling underfoot. We'd just glued the first length of foam down using a spray glue when the rain started. We didn't want the felt to get wet, so we rushed to lay down the rest of the foam before taking cover ourselves. Once the shower was over, Rory went back to dry and finished gluing down the foam.
With the felt and the foam glued down, I moved on to the gaskets. Each inlet and outlet in the pool needs a rubber gasket fitting on either side of the liner to ensure no leaks once we cut holes through. The thought of cutting a hole in the liner has given me palpitations, but I'm sure it will be fine.
As we had plenty of the foam left, I decided to add a cushiony layer to the steps as well. Then it was time to fit the liner. The time-lapse makes the liner look light and easy to move. It wasn't. It was very heavy and seemed to have absolutely no interest in being fitted.
Boo! We're having a delivery of about 20 million tonnes of gravel. More gravel than we had the last time, which nearly killed us. And that's just arrived, so we're going to deal with that.
To attach the liner, the instructions said we needed to begin with the corners. It was exhausting. I was holding it up as best I could while Rory grunted and heaved in the corners. Surprisingly, we managed to get the first 3 corners fitted in good time, but it was the stairs corner that gave us the problem. We just couldn't make it reach. Eventually, we ran out of energy and needed a break. And then I wondered whether the stairs corner was the hardest corner and perhaps we should start there. We realised we needed extra help, but at short notice we had to improvise, so we used buckets of water to weigh down the corners to stop them falling out of the groove. It was harder to get to the corners to stay hooked in the second time, but eventually we succeeded. We've got the liner in! We nearly died in the process. My heart was beating really fast, and it wasn't just for love for Rory. It was, I was just pulling as hard as I possibly could for as long as I could. Rory was doing the same and trying to feed the liner into the flange, which holds it in place. And we nearly didn't make it. We had to just try to do it multiple times, but seemingly we're in. It looks like it's going to rain, so we're going to get some free pool water. But we're now thinking about how we can get the liner flat.
Yeah, so the next stage is we stick the vacuum down the last little bit of the liner that's not been put into its recessed flange, and we turn it on, and that'll start to suck the air out of it as best it can. And that's why we did all the sealing around the edge of the pool yesterday. And that should help to start suck all the wrinkles out, all the air out, so it all goes nice and flat. And the idea is that when we start filling, we also have the vacuum on to stop any wrinkles forming. So once we think that's out, we can start putting water in. We can start putting water in, maybe in the next 10 minutes. Providing we can get all the wrinkles out and the liner doesn't start pinging out of its flange. We're so tired. I inserted the vacuum, where the sun don't shine, and taped up the gaps. We now have the hose on and it's properly raining for the first time in weeks, over a month. Really dark clouds, free water. So we're just vacuuming with our cheap Titan vacuum cleaner that's got a little rain hat on at the minute. And I don't know how well it's doing, to be perfectly honest. It's keeping it tight here, but unless you keep that pulled away from the wall, I'm not sure how much else it's doing. So I might have to rethink that, because we've got a long way to go and we're meant to have the vacuum on the whole time we're filling, especially at the lower end when everything's a bit wrinkly. So we might stop in a minute, just let the rain do its thing, and we'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, and we will keep at it. But it's glorious to be out in the rain, but we don't want to be completely soaked through. This little room was once a little room. It used to be a toilet, and they've removed it for whatever reason and blocked the hole off. So I'm going to try and drill through that and find out. That isn't a fitting that I can attach onto. I've got to probably dig out the ground. The waste pipe, for some reason, comes along and then it's got a slope there, or a bulge, or a bend or something. So I'm going to struggle to get a fitting onto this because of this. This was meant to be a nice easy job. I've opened it right up and cut the pipe back almost as far as I can. I might be able to move it back a tiny bit. The further back I can get this bend, the better really. But we'll just see how I get on. But I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. It could have been a lot worse. It could also have been a lot better. But this is a chateau. Hasn't rained for 6 weeks. I put the washing out and the heavens open. I didn't think it would take long for somebody to move in. We have a Froggie. Jane's on a rescue mission.
Where is our Froggie?
Over here.
And this is not a crispy frog. See, this is what happens.
Oh yes, spaniels escape. Hello Spaniel, how did you get out?
So actually, the frog could live in here because there's some insects.
Yeah, but there's no dry land for the frog.
Oh, does it need that?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. You didn't waste any time getting in, did you? You know, tiny bit and you're in.
Got it.
I gotcha.
You're going to carry it out?
You'll probably just jump straight back in.
Well, that's why you've got to carry it to the lake.
Have I? Oh.
This sleeve I've created, I should be able to squeeze in like that and then hopefully put into there, into the first sump section. And that should then pull back out, lock in tight. I can get the next section and slide that over the top of this, and this should hold them in position as solidly as if I'd had a purpose-built collar for them. This is the top half, and I've got to get this over these 3 ridges here. Problem is, they don't want to go, so I'm going to see if I can ratchet strap them a bit tighter, then at least get it over a couple, and maybe I'll be able to get it over the 3rd. We'll see. I forgot to record me finishing it off, but actually with the gloves on I was able just to poke at it and I made it slide into place without pinching my fingers. And that's basically it done. When I know exactly what the finished height of the sort of patio garden area will be, then I can chop this down to size and finish it off as we see fit.
I found a little time to get back into the once creaky bedroom. After the latest delivery of gravel, we decided to pay a labourer for a half day to backfill the pool walls whilst we got on with other tasks. He worked extremely hard and got a huge amount done. This really helped us out as there is still so much to do before the wedding.
We were filling the pool only when the hoover was running and we could monitor it, which meant it was slow going. With all the gravel being poured, dust and debris had found its way in, so Rory played pool boy for a while. Don't worry, we've a much more efficient solution coming.
The days are ticking down far too quickly. The oak flooring, which is as yet unfinished, can only be worked on in short bursts when I find time, as the swimming pool is taking precedence. We recently had an electrician in who has brought power to heat the new showers and fitted a consumer unit for the pump room. We have Chateau DIY about to pay us one last visit this year, and they're hoping to film a finished swimming pool. I also have yet to properly start work on the 3 shower rooms that are needed for the wedding. Bunty's not letting it worry her though, now that she's discovered she doesn't have to wait for the plums to fall.
Bonka 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 bong. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? So this is where the LED is going to go. So I have got, I'll try and dry that off now, I've wetted it with my fingers. I've got to screw holes through the liner and then cut a hole in the liner. We'll do this several times actually. There we go. Wow, this liner is actually quite tough, I'm glad to say. It's hard work pushing through. So the pool is now just up past my knees. It's quite exciting. It takes a very long time to fill. It's almost reached the second step. It sort of is now lapping over the second step, which is brilliant. I can't fit the light today. Sadly, there's like a bezel fitting kit thing that you screw the light in and then you fit that on, and then that's the light finished. We don't have that. It wasn't in the box, and looking on the box, it looks like you have the right one depending on what type of pool you have. So it wouldn't necessarily automatically be in the box, which suggests it should have been another box. But we haven't got it. We've looked absolutely everywhere. We can't find it. So I can only fill the pool up to here, really, because I can't put the light in until I've got the rest of the kit. So that's a bit frustrating. We're going to have to try and locate it, which means that the pool fill might be on hold for a while until we can get it, which is très annoying, as they say. Well, I am now, in fact, on to the plumbing. And, well, I've never plumbed in a swimming pool before, as you may well imagine. But I've got a lot of this flexible hose that I went and bought, because with the kit, you only got supplied, I don't know, 10 meters of pipe or something, which wasn't going to cut it at all. Well, not nearly enough. So I've got 25 meters of this to see how I get on. And so I'm going to start at the far skimmer and work my way around. And I'm only going to have one pipe for the skimmers. So there's two skimmers. The options would be to take two pipes into the pump room, then go into a manifold and then go into the pump, yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have it on one pipe. It's not going to make an awful lot of difference.
We've just taken delivery of our pool robot, and it's wireless, so no cables, and you can control it wirelessly, but only if you've got Wi-Fi here, which we haven't currently, but it will go off intelligently and clean the pool for us.
As Napoleon Float-Apart got on with his job scrubbing the pool, we prepped for tomorrow's big job, laying the terrace. It's about 11 metres of patioing we have to do, and the weather report suggested another plus 30 degrees and full sun all day. Yikes.
Oh, well, it's done a good job. It's not an immaculate job in terms of the pool is not immaculate, but look at all the grot it's got out.
It's a
Little
lot.
machine. Yes. We won't normally have the pool obviously as dirty as this. It's because of all the gravel going in and splashing on soil into the pool, which won't happen so much when the surrounds are clean and clear. So yeah, this shouldn't happen every time.
I'm afraid we've run out of time. We'll hopefully be back with another update soon. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.